Hello. Welcome to Saturday. That's what I tell myself when I woke up this morning. Welcome to Saturday. It's awesome. I'm Stevie. It has been a beautifully relaxing day, and sometimes I don't know what to do with when I don't have anything written on my calendar. Inevitably, I get a call from an adult child who needs something, which is nice too. And I get to say yes or no. It's really up to me, which is kind of nice too. Not having big obligations these days other than to myself and my dreams. And speaking of such, I get to go and take myself on a writer's retreat. A long time coming. Have you ever wanted something for a long time and you talk about it and you talk about it and you talk about it and you talk about it, but you just kind of don't do it, or you just don't do it? There's no kind of to it. Either doing it or you're not, right? I got to a place where I was just tired of talking about it. I was tired of hearing myself talk about it. And I wanted to do something about my dreams. I've done a lot of things that I've written down as something I was interested in doing. I mean, the radio deal. I've been wanting to be a DJ on the radio since I was a little girl. Since I was a little girl, my stepdad was a DJ and he brought me into the studio and put me on the air, and I was like, that was it. I knew I wanted to do that. It was awesome. And of course, a gajillion years later, I get to be on the radio. I've traveled a little bit. I've been to a couple places that I've always wanted to go and experienced things that I've only dreamed of, or not even, I didn't even know that I could dream them. And it's interesting how life can develop or emerge if we just stay in the wonder of it all. If I stay in the wonder of my life, I am always just like blown away at the wonderment. For instance, it's not like some elaborate trip that I need to take and spend a bunch of money and be with amazing people in order to experience this. This is how simple joy shows up in my life. How simply and how simple it looks. And how magnificent it is. Because traveling to Jamaica and sitting in the park on the outside of a Winco store, watching people go by is the same feeling for me. Trust me, this is amazing. So, this one day, my friend, you're going to hear me talk about Jody because she and I do all kinds of stuff together, and she brings about inspiration, and she's a reflection of all kinds of amazement. And so this one particular day, we went to the store. We both had grocery shopping to do. It was right after that big snow that we had, and everybody was out of food. So everyone and their mother and their ancestors were at Winco that day. Jeez Louise. So I had finished my shopping, and I went and sat outside. The sun was shining because we had just had that big snow and everything. The sun was actually out, and it was all the snow was melting. And I just kind of parked my butt right there on the curb of like the there was like there's the wall outside the building, and then there was a little curb thing sticking off of it. I don't even know what they call that, but it was enough for my butt to sit on. And it wasn't that big, but I made it happen. And I sat there and I just watched people. And as I sat there, the sun was moving across the sky, and it was peering right into my third eye. And I just closed my eyes and I gave thanks. Normally, when I'm around a lot of people, I get very overwhelmed and I feel their energy and I feel all of the things that they're feeling. And because I'm highly sensitive, uh, in our community, it's called an empath, and I just think that I'm freaking sensitive and I feel everything, which can be great and also kind of like disturbing sometimes. And so I decided to use the tools of things that I've learned along the way. And one of them is to be a contagion instead of infected. And one of the ways I do that is that I stop and I do what I'm doing now. Just breathe and find my feet, find my root. And I just relax into me, the knowing of me, the divine. And I'm able to feel what it feels like to be in love. To be in love with maybe my beloved, who may or may not be in human form. It may simply just be me, my beloved, me. And feeling that feeling of love, and then letting it permeate a sphere around me, and just feeling love lift off of me and flow outwardly, and then to the next 10 feet, and the 20 feet after that, and the 40 feet after that, and the 144 feet after that. And then surrounding the entire parking lot, and the building behind me was full of this love. And everyone that walked by was saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. It was amazing. And I noticed that my mind would kind of like wander off for a moment, and I would bring my attention back to I love you and that feeling of love in my heart. And I was getting a little uncomfortable because, I was kind of sitting on a ledge, and I would just adjust myself and relax into that uncomfortability and go back to my heart center. And it brought me out of my pain body and back into my heart. And so I just continued to send love. And Jody was in there for a long time. And I even went to this place like, oh my God, maybe she had like an asthma attack. And I'm like, no, Desiree, there would be ambulances. It's because my monkey mind, they say, well, how do you meditate? I don't know. All I know is that my mind goes over there and it comes back. And it goes over there and it comes back. I don't stay centered, but I always come back to center. That's the ticket. I get to return to center. So there's something that's amazing for me when I'm able to be the contagion. And what I mean by that is that I can either allow my environment to infect me as if I were somehow my resistance was down, and I would become infected by whatever energy was flying around. Or I could be the contagion. I have the ability, and so do you, to affect an environment. Have you ever been somewhere and everything's fine, and then one person walks in the room and they slam the door and they're like throwing stuff around and they're yelling? Everything stops. All your focus goes to that, right? All the attention goes there, and everybody's kind of starting to feel uncomfortable and such. That's a contagion. And whoever's feeling uncomfortable is now the infected. They've been infected by the contagion. I choose to be the other end of that. I choose to be the contagion of love, loving kindness. I want, as I've mentioned before, and I experiment with this all the time, that when I walk into a room, that everybody feels better and they don't even know why. I expect it. I decide how I feel. I decide how I get to project love into the essence of the air and the being. We are so sensitive. It's a heart math. It's a heart science. It's the projection of energy, of wavelengths, of electricity. That's what that is. And we get to send it out. Try it sometime. If you're feeling particularly overwhelmed by your environment, stop. Breathe. Nobody will even know what you're doing at first. And then they'll be like, I'll tell you what, I walked into a bar again with Jody to go dancing, And I know I'm feeling all juicy love, a love bucket, and everybody's like, wow, ow, doing their thing, right? Backing up, backing up, backing up, backing up, drinking it. Hey, everything's good. And I would just stand there and I'm just sending love to everybody. And then pretty soon that dance floor is kind of empty and it's kind of like quieting down. The conversations get quieter and just the music's kind of bumping. And I'm like, huh. I look at Joe and go, you see that? She's like, yeah. Huh. Interesting. Try it, dude. I'm telling you, it's amazing. You want to attract a cup of coffee? Do it. Yeah, man. Just saying. Disclaimer, results may vary. But you'll feel better. Blessings and love to you. Thank you so much. Ooh, the timer says 11:04, 11:05, 11:06. When it gets to 11:11, I'm going to say I love you. 9, 10, 11:11, I love you.